Hey guys, welcome back to the Ghost and Friends YouTube channel. Appreciate you guys that are watching on Twitter. Now, we've got a very special guest who will remain anonymous today, but a gentleman that took the college football Twitterverse by storm over the weekend. Welcome, the Burrito Bandit, the one and only Saint Bill Snyder. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm hanging in there.
Hope there's no repercussions from the decision that you made as far as health-wise. Hope everything's good on that basis. But talk to me, man. Earlier in the week, I'll say this. I saw the tweet that you put out regarding the burrito, the beefy 5-layer burrito, and K-State, the K-State BYU game. I saw that, and at the time, I think I was one of the first people that saw it. It had just a couple of likes, and so I clicked your account. Talk to me about your follower growth, just alone from making that post, and then obviously following through with the bet on your end. What did you start with, and where are you at right now?
I mean, I was, just a classic little burner account. I had probably 350 followers, maybe pushing 400. It's like hard to remember now because it grew so fast. I think right when I initially made the tweet, I popped a bit, up to 750. And then after the fucking BYU game, all of a sudden, all these people wanted to hold me accountable. I guess I got, another 5,000 followers or something crazy. And it just kind of ripped from there. And I was like, well, I guess I got to do it now, It's like pretty crazy, just never. I thought that tweet would get 2 likes, 3 likes, done,
Yeah.
And it just popped. And I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah, it doesn't take much, man. And obviously, it is a season for crazy. I'll say this, Kyle. I really hope we don't see that particular beefy 5-layer burrito making an appearance today. It's what it sounds like, Mr. Attack Sheet. But we do know Kyle and how he rolls. So I'll say this, man. Yeah, I thought I was one of the first, maybe a handful, a couple dozen worth of people that saw it. And I was just like, this one has potential to go mad. We do have a question from Mr. Drew TAMU, good buddy right there. He asked what you did with the burrito after the deed was done. I think we all expect the same answer. I'm hoping that's the answer we get, but care to comment on that?
Yeah, I'm actually saving it. We're going to do an auction, and all the proceeds are going to go towards my presidential campaign is the plan.
There we go. So we have got an auctioned off booty burrito in order to
Slightly
get Bill...
used.
To get Saint Bill Snyder in office. So there we go, Drew. Hope that helps a little bit. But yeah, I was like, man, this one has the potential to go kind of crazy because it is a season of saying, kind of outlandish things on Twitter. And then the majority of people obviously do not follow through on them. So did you do it because you were like, I have to, is what I said I would do? Or is this just too much peer pressure? Do you have like a big time rivalry with 321 Noel over there in Tallahassee, and you see him not follow up, so you're like, oh yeah, this is my chance to one up him? Talk to us about that, brother.
It was like multiple things. It's like I can't not do it. I got all these people counting on me. I feel like I had America counting on me. And the other thing is, the way Florida State was acting before the season. Because there were those rumors flying around about them joining the Big 12 potentially with Clemson.
Right.
And they were just like totally snubbing their fucking nose at us in the Big 12. So it's kind of like, you know what? I'm going to show how big of a pussy they are over at Florida State. And we're going to fucking double down and do it. And I had a lot of people, oh, he's never going to do it. He'll never do that. But I genuinely just don't give a fuck. I mean, as long as I'm anonymous, right? But there are some people who know me and know who I am. And
I mean, if we're
not going to let me forget.
Exactly that. Yeah. I mean, there are people that would have held that over your head for years if you don't do that. Maybe it's not daily, but they had to let you know about the wager. We're doing this, so I guess we got to fully do this. Mr. Matt is asking for some help there as far as that. You don't have to answer that, but just showing you what the chat's mindset is at. Thanks for being here, Matt. So how long post game after? I mean, obviously you probably knew how that game was playing out considering the score, but you're watching the game up in Provo. How did how long did it take you to come to the realization, like, hey, this is something I'm going to do? Like, how long did it take in there before you were like, did you have to talk yourself into it? Did you know immediately?
Sunday I was convincing myself I was just gonna rickroll everybody. Um, and then as it went on, I was like, you know what? This could be a fucking moment here. This could be something special. I think we need to up the fucking ante. As far as because we're Big 12, we got to be fucking different.
Right.
And it was like this could also be like I think this should be something everybody's doing. We need to every week just have a bunch of maniacs on fucking Twitter betting on their team. And
I
it's
mean,
more than anything the fanfare, and I just thought it'd be fucking hilarious to actually do it. So
oh, absolutely, man. I fully agree with you there. I think we do have a ton of maniac fans making wagers on Twitter in regard to their teams. It just very rarely do people follow through on them. We see all types of things, and so credit to you there. I definitely I felt like one of the things that I had done on social media was pretty strong, pretty out there.
what was
Simple.
yours?
But so last year in the Kansas State game, the tweets are on the timeline. I had Miss Allison Renner on the show talking K-State ball before the year, and I brought it up during our show. But I'm at the beach watching that game down here in South Texas, and obviously the Kansas State Wildcats make a pretty wild comeback in that second half of the Texas game. And as it's going to overtime, I tweet a picture of the beach and say that if Texas survives overtime versus K-State, I will streak naked on the beach. And obviously Texas won, so I waited about 4 hours and then went back out there when it was a little less of a crowd and provided video proof. And so at the time, not many people had seen my face. And it's not like you can see everything, just a little butt. But and so yeah, so I thought, I mean something like that, and so that's why I waited a little bit. But yeah, also I thought, I was like, man, I did it. I was pretty proud that I did it, just because, not because of the reaction that it got, just because Texas
you kept
won.
your fucking word.
I doubted Texas, and they shoved it up my butt, and so yeah, and they kept your word. But I hadn't seen one from another Twitterer that I just was like, wow, that is ultimate next level, and that is you, my friend. You took it above and beyond. Mine is a 2 of 10. Yours is a 100 of 10. So well done there. I give you a lot of credit there.
I don't know. Going naked on the beach is pretty freaking wild. Oh man,
you couldn't see anything. It's dark. It's pretty innocent. You see a lot worse on the timeline daily, I feel like. But let me ask you this: is there anyone knows that it's you? I'm sure that you have some friends that are like,
yeah,
burner buddies.
Yeah, I got like my best friend and a couple people in my fantasy football league that know what's going down. But hopefully they keep it locked down, and I'm not hearing about it from my neighbors, in a week or two, and anybody I run into. But yeah, if I definitely think I would get fired if I ever did, like you're doing and showed my face, I'd be cooked. I'd be toast. Be gone.
Definitely do not ruin your life over posting a facial reveal or anything like that. So I was happy to keep you anonymous, but happy to have you on here. Pay a little bit of respects to the deed. You have something cooking? Anything else cooking up on the timeline? I want to say I've seen something.
I mean, I'm thinking this week doing something a little more soft core. I mean, I'm not just gonna keep milking if this happens, but I think if every time Iowa State and KU fuck up this weekend, I'm just gonna slam a beer. Because
I like that.
Take it by a week.
Right. Take it easy. Yeah, I saw. I guess someone sent me that tweet of yours talking about the bye week. Yeah, man, just keep it going. I like it. Definitely something a little more chill is okay. Give yourself a little time. Recovery time is important in the college Chipotle next. Man. Yeah, I once again, before we talk a little ball, just maximum respect, maximum love for what you did. I think it's like you said, it's great when we have all these diehard college football fans, burners, whatever it is, making these wagers. But the ones that follow through, man, we had to get you on here. So talk to me a little bit about how surprised were you to see the K-State game play out like that in Provo. Obviously, you guys have rebounded since then. I didn't expect you guys to lose that game. I thought y'all would probably handle BYU by 10-14 somewhere in there. But I didn't get honestly, I didn't get to watch any of that one. So talk to me a little bit about what your thoughts were through that game. Obviously, it surprised you a little bit.
Absolutely. Yeah, dude. I mean, I tweeted that because I was sitting there. There's no freaking way we lose to BYU, that Tuesday. And then, of course, I go freaking viral. So I'm thinking, oh, man, I might have jinxed my boys. And I was watching it in my living room by myself. And I felt pretty good, going into the end of the second quarter. We were kind of, we didn't get into the end zone. So I saw, the BYU is playing us hard-nosed football, and they weren't making mistakes. And here we are getting penalties right in the red zone, right where we need to fucking score. But when my heart dropped was when he scooped and scored that fumble by DJ Giddens. I mean, oh, my God. That was when I was like, oh, crap. But, that's happened before. We make mistakes. But K-State football is usually – we play pretty disciplined football. And then it just snowballed. It just absolutely snowballed from there in the next 2-3 minutes. Next thing you know, there's a punt return, interception. It was like we were cursed. I was sitting there thinking, this is my fault. Honestly, I was like, this is on me.
I get that, though.
And part of that guilt was like kind of why I did it. Because I was like, fuck, I can't fucking look like a coward now and make my team look like a coward. So I'm going to fucking do it. Because there is a chance. I kind of believe in the curse thing. Like 3-2-1 Knowles, he's got to get out there, man. He's got to do it.
That's the thing, man.
Florida State ain't going to come back. That's all they can think about in that locker room. Probably.
3-2-1 Knowles. If you're out there, man, you are causing the issues. It's not DJU. It is you, brother. You've got to uncurse the Knowles the same way that this gentleman uncursed the K-State Wildcats. Did it hurt a little bit when the BYU official Twitter account popped out with a Liv Moss tweet? No,
I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, that might be the football account tweet of the year for any football accounts out there. This is a very high bar that the Wildcats admin set there. So all around, man, it was a great thing that it played out. Obviously now over a couple weeks. And so big credit to you, man. Let's talk about the K-State bouncing back against Oklahoma State. Revenge of last year's loss. How do you feel about the way the K-State Wildcats handled themselves after a bad loss in Provo?
Yeah, I mean, that what they did this weekend was the whole reason I, tweeted that in the first place. I mean, they played up to their ability, not shooting themselves in the foot. DJ Giddens, he's definitely going to be playing on Sundays. I mean, he's a junior and he's just stomping through defenses. He's pretty consistent, and I think he's one of the better running backs K-State's probably ever had. But yeah, I mean, we played them pretty close, I think, and then we really opened it up in the third quarter, which is kind of how K-State traditionally plays, is play it tight up until halftime and then unleash the beast at third quarter, fourth quarter. And just seeing Avery Johnson, my big thing is like I really wanted to see him throw, and not just for 155 yards or whatever. And he showed that he can, throw for touchdowns, get it down the field. He had a couple games before where he had that open receiver downfield and he just overthrew him. And, it was nice to see him catch, I think it was Jace Brown, for that long ball. And, it just seemed like all facets of the game actually came together and we weren't shooting ourselves in the foot to go. So that's when we play our best ball, is when we, when we can run the ball really hard like that with DJ Giddens and then not get a penalty, when we're on the 10-yard line trying to punch it in. So it's good to see that, especially against a Mike Gundy team, because Mike Gundy's legit. They're
absolutely. What are your thoughts on Avery Johnson as a passer? Are you seeing some progress being made? Obviously, last week was a little bit better. Are you happy with what you're seeing out of Avery so far?
Yeah, I mean, it's you got to keep in mind he's a sophomore.
Right.
And seeing him get rattled, I think, a bit in Provo was what happened. You got mistake happened, and then he felt like, I think in his interview, he was saying, you got to make it all up now. You got to make it up all up now. And, you got to play the whole game. You got to play the whole football game. And I saw him, like, he made that interception early, and it was still a tight game. And then he came back, and he had a really great day. So seeing him do that, now you see all the charts come out where he's, like, towards the top of the best quarterbacks in the league as of last week. Makes me feel a lot better. I think the biggest thing for K-State is just going to be, are they going to be the same team on the road that they are at home? Are they going to be able to win on the road? Because, that seems to be the hardest thing to do in the conference right now, is people are having a hard time away from home.
Absolutely. I mean, life on the road in college football it's never easy, especially when it comes to conference play. I will say we do a prediction show for this. This channel is only 2 months old today, but at the very beginning of it, we did a prediction show. I had Kansas State missing the Big 12 championship, but going 10-2. I had like 4 Big 12 teams going 10-2 in there, because I think they're all going to kind of beat each other up. You feel okay about K-State's chances to make it to Arlington? And if so, who else in the conference do you kind of see has maybe a better than the rest of the conference chance to get there?
Yeah, I mean, right now it's hard to say. I mean, I think that Iowa State game looks really hard at the end of the year right now. And then Colorado, they're playing pretty hot. They just whooped UCF, who we thought was a pretty good team.
I did too.
So this next week, it's a bye week, but then next week it's going to be, A, we got to win on the road. B, we got to beat a Colorado team with a really good quarterback, with our secondary who is not defending the pass very well. You look at this, we're like 113th in pass defense. So I'm a little worried about Shadur just tearing us up. But I think if we can stop the run, make them one-dimensional, get a lucky turnover, and, grind that one out, that would go a long way. Because the rest of the schedule is pretty manageable, I think, except that Iowa State game at the end of the year, which should be really a key game. That should be a key game. Deciding which of those teams goes to Arlington, I think, is what's going to happen.
Farmageddon is always a blast. I mean, all the time. I know that last year was a little bit of Snowmageddon, but hey, Richard, thank you for being here, brother. If you missed all the burrito talk in the beginning, man, just rewind a little bit, check it all out. So it was a fun opening 10 minutes, I'll say that. But once again, guys, I appreciate all you being here. Got over 100, a little over 100 live. If you're watching on Twitter, do me a favor, hop over to YouTube. Like this video, show the Burrito Bandit some love. I think he more than deserves that, right? Like, pile up the likes on this video, show some love in the comments. I mean, this dude is awesome. Like, there's a very small percentage of people in the world that would have followed through on a wager like that. And obviously subscribe to the channel. Got a lot of fun guests doing shows daily. So, yeah, check it out. But Big 12 title implications, I like the schedule for you guys going down the road. Obviously, the Iowa State game is never going to be easy. Pretty big rivalry there, I'd say. But if there's one thing that in your opinion, keeps Kansas State from maybe reaching some season goals or reaching the Big 12 championship game, what do you think it'd be?
I think it'd be our secondary getting chewed up by the pass. Some of these quarterbacks like Shadur, and I think Rocco's pretty good. And then making mistakes on the road. Just penalties on the road, turnovers on the road, getting rattled. You got to show on the road that you got the same mindset you do at home and just win out. You got to be focused on winning, because we got our mulligan.
Right.
BYU is our mulligan. And, the way it's all set up now is, if you're in the Big 12, you really can't lose if you want to make it in, because they want SEC, Big 10, maybe one G5, one Big 12 team is what they're talking right now. And I don't know if you saw, I saw on Twitter earlier, they're meeting together and they're trying to do 4 auto bids for the Big 10, 4 auto bids for the SEC.
I saw that.
That's pretty intense. I mean, maybe you can justify the SEC, but no freaking way. I mean, every year in the Big 10, you're going to have Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State, and Michigan. That's who it'd be, So,
it is really difficult to think that, it's not headed to a two mega conferences, two power conferences, whatever, you wanted to call it. What's your preference? Are you cool with that, or would you like to hang on to the Big 12 for as long as you can? Because it's been a lot of a very fun conference. I don't think anyone can take that away from them.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up watching the Big 12, and I don't think I'll ever let the Big 12 go because I love that. I've always loved the underdog, and we just feel like we're such an underdog, compared to those other conferences. But we still got a fighter's punch in any
Right.
game. But it just sucks. Like the attitude of those big brands is what they're doing, trying to box everybody else out and hog all this revenue for themselves. So, I would say ultimately I think it is going to go into like an NFL kind of regional conference situation where you got maybe, between the Big 10, SEC, ACC, and Big 12, they get the couple of G5 teams that are worth something.
Right.
Absorb them, and then you got 4 regional conferences that break into the playoff, maybe a 16 field playoff. Should be the way it goes, but I really think the Big 10 and SEC are just going to bully their way through it, and maybe, we get 10% between us and the ACC or 20% of the bids while they're, stomping their foot in their throat on the ground is what they want to do.
This is definitely very, very tough on, and I'm not calling your school small, but the smaller schools, not the big brands, and there's not a ton of very big brands, so it has an effect on a lot of people, man. I definitely, as a Texas
it just
guy,
takes the hope away. It takes your hope away.
I mean, there's no other way to say it, to be honest.
So it takes kind of the magic out of what college football should be. If you could go with that, but I hate to see the money win, because I don't think college football is about money. It should make kids money and people should make money, but it shouldn't just be money,
I get it, man. I mean, my favorite conference ever is the OG Big 12, when we first got it started off, and before A&M, Colorado, Nebraska, and Missouri both did, in which I know there's going to be a lot of fingers pointed, Jesus Christ, fingers pointed our way on that whole situation. But I loved that conference. I loved when K-State was solid back in the I don't know your age, but back in the late 90s, I loved watching Michael Bishop, and then I loved watching L. Roberson. And I didn't like Josh Freeman so much because he beat us twice, and it hurt a lot. But I was always a fan of that old Big 12, man. It definitely meant something to me. I saw every Big 12 stadium except for Oklahoma, since we play them in Dallas, and so I love Bill Snyder's the Bill Snyder Family Stadium. I love my trips up there, and so definitely there's a lot of guys. See, if you were make you feel better, if you're an Iowa State guy that did this, I don't know if I let you on here, man. Much more love for the K-State Wildcats.
If it was Iowa State, they should go straight to jail.
I'm gonna be honest. If Cyclone Larry ever tries to come on, probably got to let him come on. But other than that, no exceptions. But
Larry's funny. I like Cyclone Larry.
Yeah, he's epic, man. And I will say this: SEC Twitter, it can't hold a candle to Big 12 Twitter. It is elite in every which way, and it's not just one fan base that is elite. There are multiple, and they do a really good job with that. So I know it doesn't mean much, man. I do have a big heart for the smaller schools. I know that a lot is changing around the football landscape for us, and it's still going to be changing. I mean, that's like you just talked about. There are rumors of Florida State and Clemson before the season, and I'm sure they'll pick right back up once the games will stop playing, playoffs are done, and we have to have something else to talk about. It just seems to be that way. But anything else, man, that you would like to bring up, go over, ask before we get you out of here, Burrito Bandit?
Oh, man. No, other than that, every man a Wildcat. I love my team, and I probably won't bet on my team the rest of the year, but I'll make some other bets, and we'll have some fun for sure.
And speaking of that, this is at Saint Bill Snyder, correct, on Twitter?
Yes, sir.
At Saint Bill Snyder. Follow this guy. You're gonna have some fun. If you have a weak stomach, don't scroll down too far when you go open his profile. Take my word for it. Have you seen this video? We got to talking about you, Bill Snyder, and the KFC chicken bucket bourbon guy. I don't know. Kyle sent me a video of this. Is it pretty bad?
He actually did it?
According to Kyle, he sent me a video. I still haven't opened it yet. So
I saw the
I don't
picture of
know.
the bucket and the bourbon.
Okay.
I was like, that would kill me.
Yeah. That never. I won't go that far. I'll stick to running. But hey, guys, thank y'all for watching. Appreciate it. At St. Bill Snyder, follow that guy. If you're watching on Twitter, go find my profile, follow the link in there to the YouTube page, like the video, show St. Bill Snyder a lot of love. Burrito Bandit, he's got new aliases. This guy's they're trending up in the world. And so show him some love, like the video, subscribe to the channel. All right.